Morning everyone. So I'm going to read you a traditional tale today. I know you've been studying a topic on Islam and I was trying to find you some stories around the 5 pillars of Islam, but unfortunately I can't really find you any that I can read you. So I'm going to go back to reading you a traditional tale and I'll have another look later on today, see if I can find you anything that isn't more than 3 minutes long, because that's a very short tale. So I'm going to read you a traditional tale. It's called Old Sultan. It's about a dog, and as you know, I love dogs. A shepherd had a faithful dog called Sultan, who was grown very old and had lost all of his teeth. One day, when the shepherd and his wife were standing together before the house, the shepherd said, "I will shoot old Sultan tomorrow morning, for he is of no use now." But his wife said, "No, let the poor faithful creature live. He has served us well a great many years, and we ought to give him a livelihood for the rest of his days." "But what can we do with him?" said the shepherd. "He has no tooth in his head, and the thieves don't care for him at all. To be sure, he has served us very well, but he did it to earn his livelihood, and tomorrow shall be his last day. I have decided." Poor Sultan, who was lying very close by them, heard all that the shepherd and his wife said to one another, and was very much frightened to think that tomorrow would be his last day on earth. So, in the evening, he went to his good friend the wolf, who lived in the wood, and told him all his sorrows and how his master meant to kill him in the morning. "Don't worry," said the wolf. "I will give you some good advice. Your master, you know, goes out every morning very early with his wife into the field, and they take their little child with them, and they lay it down behind the hedge in the shade while they are at work. Now, you lie down close by the child and pretend to be watching him. You must run after me as fast as you can, and I will let it drop. And they will be so thankful to you that they will take care of you as long as they live." The dog liked this plan very well, and accordingly so it was managed. The wolf ran off with the child a little way. The shepherd and his wife screamed out, but Sultan soon overtook the wolf and carried the poor little thing back to his master and mistress. Then the shepherd patted him on the head and said, "Old Sultan, you have saved our child from the wolf, and therefore you can live and be well taken care of and have plenty to eat. Wife, go home and give him a good dinner, and let him have my old cushion to sleep on as long as he shall live." So from that time forward, Sultan had all that he could wish for. Soon afterwards, though, the wolf came and wished him joy and said, "Now, my good fellow, you must tell no tales, but turn your head the other way when I want to taste one of the old shepherd's fine fat sheep." "Oh, no," said the Sultan. "I'll be true to my master." However, the wolf thought this was a joke and came one night to get a dainty morsel of a sheep. But Sultan had told his master what the wolf meant to do, so he laid in wait for the wolf behind the barn door, and when the wolf was busy looking out for a good fat sheep, he had a stout wooden cudgel, that's a big stick, laid about behind his back, that combed his locks for him finely, so that means that he hit the wolf over the head with it. The wolf was very angry, and he called the Sultan an old rogue and swore he would have his revenge. So the next morning the wolf sent the boar to challenge the Sultan to come into the wood to fight the matter out. Now the Sultan had nobody he could ask to be his second but the shepherd's old 3-legged cat. So he took her with him, and as the poor thing limped along with some trouble, she stuck her tail straight up in the air. The wolf and the wild boar were first on the ground, and when they saw their enemies coming, and saw the cat's long tail standing straight in the air, they thought she was carrying a sword for the Sultan to fight with, and every time she limped they thought she was picking up a stone to throw at them. So they said they should not like this way of fighting. And the boar lay down behind a bush, and the wolf jumped up into a tree. Sultan the cat soon came up and looked about and wondered that there was no one there. The boar, however, had not quite hidden himself, for his ears stuck out of the bush, and when he shook one of them a little, the cat, seeing something move and thinking it was a mouse, sprang upon it and bit and scratched it, so that the boar jumped up and grunted and ran away roaring, "Look up in the tree, there sits the one who is to blame." So they looked up and saw the wolf sitting amongst the branches, and they called him a cowardly rascal, and would not suffer him to come down till he was heartily ashamed of himself, and promised, to be good friends once again with the old Sultan. And that is how the wolf and the Sultan became friends again. And that is the end of the story. So it's very, very sunny outside today and very, very hot. So if you are not at school today, make sure you've got a hat on and some sun cream. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.